of the method of raising evil or familiar spirits by a circle. Adapted from Francis Barrett's The Magus, 1801. It is here convenient that we may say something about the means used by exorcists to raise up what are usually termed evil spirits to the circle, and the method of calling up the ghosts or souls of those who have died a violent or premature death. Now, if any one would call any evil spirit to the circle, he must first consider and know his nature, and to which of the planets it agrees, and what offices are distributed unto him from the planet. This being known, let there be sought out a place fit and convenient and proper for his invocation, according to the nature of the planet and the quality of the offices of the same spirit, as if their power be over the sea, rivers, or floods, then let the place be the seashore, and so of the rest. Then choose a convenient time both for the quality of the air, being serene, quiet, clear, and fitting for the spirits to assume bodies, as also of the quality of and nature of the planet and the spirit, as on his day and time in which he rules. He may be fortunate or unfortunate sometimes of the day, and sometimes of the night, as the stars and spirits do require. These things being judiciously considered, let the circle be made at the place elected, and in the circle write the divine general names, and all those things which do yield defense to us, and with them those divine names which do rule his planet, and the offices of the Spirit himself. Likewise, write therein the names of the good spirits which bear rule in the time you do this, and which are able to bind and constrain that spirit which we intend to call. And if we will further strengthen and fortify our circle, we may add characters and pentacles agreeing to the work. Then also, if we will, we may either, within or without the circle, frame an angular figure with the inscription of such convenient numbers as are congruent amongst themselves to our work, which are to be known according to the manner of numbers and figures delivered in our first book. Further, we are to be provided with lights, perfumes, unguents, and medicines, compounded according to the nature of the spirit and planet, which agree with the spirit by reason of their natural and celestial virtue. Then we are to be furnished with holy and consecrated things, necessary not only for the defense of the invocant and his companions, but also serving for bonds to bind and constrain the spirits, such as holy papers, lamans, pictures, pentacles, swords, scepters, garments of convenient color and matter. Then, with all these things provided, let the exorcist and his companions go into the circle. In the first place, let him consecrate the circle and everything he uses, which, being done in a solemn and firm manner, let him begin to pray with a loud voice after the following manner. First, by making an oration or prayer to God, and then entreating the good spirits, we should read some prayer or psalm or gospel for our defense in the first place. After those prayers and orations are said, let him begin to invocate the spirit which he desireth with a gentle and loving enchantment to all the coasts of the world, with a commemoration of his own authority and power. Then, rest and look round to see if any spirit does appear, which, if he delays, then let him repeat this invocation, as above said, until he hath done it 3 times. And if the spirit is obstinate and will not appear, then let the invocator begin to conjure him with divine power, and reiterate the same 3 times, from stronger to stronger, using contumelies, cursings, punishments, suspension from his power and office, and the like. And after these courses are finished, cease, And if the spirit shall appear, let the invocant turn himself toward the spirit, and courteously receive him, and earnestly entreating him, let him ask his name, which you should write down on your holy paper, and then proceed by asking him whatsoever you will. And if in anything the spirit shall appear to be obstinate, ambiguous, or lying, let him be bound by convenient conjurations. And if you doubt anything, make, outside the circle with the consecrated sword, the figure of a triangle or pentagon, and compel the spirit to enter into it. And if you receive any promise which you should have confirmed with an oath, stretch the sword out of the circle, and swear the spirit by laying his hand on the sword. Then, having obtained of the spirit that which you desire, or are otherwise contented, license him to depart with courteous words, giving command that he do no hurt. And if need require, expel him by exorcisms, and by making contrary suffumigations. And when he is departed, go not out of the circle, but make a stay, and use some prayer giving thanks to God and the good angels, and also praying for your future defense and conservation, which being orderly performed, you may depart. But if your hopes are frustrated, and no spirit will appear, yet for this you need not despair. But leaving the circle after licensing to depart, which must never be omitted whether a spirit appears or not, and if you think that you have erred in anything, then you shall amend by adding or diminishing. For the constancy of repetition increases your authority and power, and strikes a terror into the spirits, and compels them to obey. And often the spirits do come, although they appear not visible, to cause terror to him who calls them, either in the thing which he uses, or else in the operation itself. But this kind of licensing is not given simply, but by a kind of dispensation, with suspension, until they shall render themselves obedient. Also, without a circle, these spirits may be called to appear by the way we have delivered in the consecration of a book. But when we intend to execute any effect where an apparition is not needful, then that is to be done by making and forming that which is to be to us an instrument, as whether it be an image, ring, character, table, writing, candle, sacrifice, or anything else. Then the name of the spirit is to be written therein with his character, according to the exigency of the experiment, either by writing it with blood, or otherwise using a perfume agreeable to the spirit. Likewise, we are often to make orations and prayers to God and the good angels before we invocate any evil spirit, conjuring him by divine power. In some former parts of our work, we have taught how and by what means the soul is joined to the body. Those souls do still love their relinquished bodies after death, a certain affinity alluring them, as it were. Such are the souls of noxious men who have violently relinquished their bodies, and souls wanting a due burial, which still wander in a liquid and turbulent spirit about their dead carcasses. But these souls, by the known means by which they were joined to their bodies, by the like vapors, liquors, and savors, are easily drawn into them. In the raising, therefore, of these shadows, we are to perfume with new blood the bones of the dead, and with flesh, eggs, milk, honey, and oil, which furnish the soul with a medium apt to receive its body. It is likewise to be understood that those who are desirous to raise any souls of the dead ought to select those places wherein these kinds of souls are most known to be conversant, or by some alliance alluring the souls into their forsaken bodies, or by some kind of affection in times past impressed in them in their life, drawing the souls to certain places, things, or persons, or by the forcible nature of some place fitted and prepared to purge or punish these souls. These places, for the most part, are to be known by the appearance of visions, nightly incursions, and apparitions. Therefore, the places most fitting for these things are churchyards, and better than them are those places devoted to the executions of criminal judgments, and better than these are those places where, of late years, there have been so great and so many public slaughters of men, and that place is still better than those where some dead carcass that came by violent death is not yet expiated, nor was lately buried. For the expiation of those places is likewise a holy rite duly to be adhibited to the burial of the bodies, and often prohibits the soul returning to its body, and expels the same afar off to the place of judgment. And from hence it is that the souls of the dead are not easy to be raised up, except it be the souls of them whom we know to be evil, or to have perished by a violent death, and whose bodies do want the right of due burial. Now, although we have spoken concerning such places of this kind, it will not be safe or commodious to go unto them. But it is requisite for us to take to whatsoever place is to be chosen some principal relic of the body, and therewith make a perfume in due manner, and to perform other competent rites. It is also to be known that, because the souls are certain spiritual lights, therefore artificial lights framed out of certain competent things, compounded according to a true rule, with congruent inscriptions of names and seals, do very much avail to the raising up of departed souls. But these things which are now spoken of are not always sufficient to raise up souls, because of an extra-natural portion of understanding and reason which is above and known only to the heavenly destinies and their powers. We should, therefore, allure the said souls by supernatural and celestial powers duly administered, even by those things which do move the very harmony of the soul, as well imaginative as rational and intellectual, such as voices, songs, sounds, enchantments, and religious things, as prayers, conjurations, exorcisms, and other holy rites, which may commodiously be administered hereunto. End of the method of raising evil or familiar spirits by a circle, likewise the souls and shadows of the dead. Adapted from Francis Barrett's The Magus, 1801. Read by Dan Attrell. If you would like to support more work such as this, please visit patreon.com/themodernhermeticist. And above all, thank you for listening.